Portions of the following program may have been pre-recorded.
And then the first time I met Shayne was off air.
Yeah.
The first episode.
Was it really the first time you met Shayne?
I think so. Like
Are you sure?
the first time I sat down and like talked with him was off air.
Really?
I think, and
That's
buddy,
fucking wild.
buddy, I apologize if there was another time. I do not remember.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I do not remember.
What a fucking introduction. Hey, here's a show.
Well, no, because I think it was something you and I did when he was out. He was out. I came in and I filled in.
Okay.
And we were just being dumb. And he was like, you know what? I think we could do a really good show.
Well, hang on.
The three of us.
No, Shayne pitched me the show because we were done with Culturally Relevant.
Okay.
Shayne pitched me the show of, hey, I don't know what I want a more relaxed show. I don't want it formatted.
Gotcha.
So I'm thinking of just riffing for 30 minutes, an hour and seeing what I can come up with. I'm like, okay, that's great.
All right.
We had just set up the studio. So I'm like, I'll run the board if you want me to run the board. And we started going back and forth about like how to give it content so it's not just rambling, right?
Yeah.
And we kept coming up with the term like improv shows, like Whose Line, Whitest Kids, right?
Which is what it was for the first 20 episodes.
So we kept coming up with improv. I'm like, well, who likes the same stuff as Jake?
Oh.
And I'm like, have you I don't know if you'd met him or anything, and before that, but I'm like, do you want me to see if he'd be interested? And I don't know where it went from that. But I know that was the conversation I had with Shayne.
I think you just asked me
to come in.
I think that's what it was. It was just kind of like hey, we're thinking about doing this. Do you want to come in and see how it goes?
Interesting.
I don't think I had a conversation with him before that first episode.
Which you want to know as a while?
Which, real quick, makes a lot of sense that we played Bop It.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, because I've listened to the Bop It episode again, obviously. I want to listen back to like the chemistry conversation.
I want to say we sat at your table and we were bullshitting for like a half an hour.
Yeah.
And
in the dark. There was no lights on. I remember that.
Yes. Because it was still kind of light out.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were just sitting there BSing about everything. And Shayne was like, well, this is my idea. I'm thinking about this and this and this. And I'm like, all right, well, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's go, buddy. Like,
and then we ordered a pizza on episode 2. Same day.
That's
we
right.
ate pizza. And I said, I've never eaten on air.
Dude, let me tell you,
Crazy.
I had pizza. Cauliflower crust. Okay. That was like legit dough to the point I thought they were playing a prank on me.
Yeah.
That was the first time I had like pizza with crust in 8 months.
Where'd you get it from?
Blaze.
Is that here?
No.
Okay.
No. There used to be one. It was in Menor. It closed down. Dude. So.
The funny thing about you meeting Shayne then, so that's like what, 2 years ago? Off air started? Like 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that was before radio, and radio has been a year. So about 2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
So I met you in 2019.
Okay.
I reconnected with Shayne in 2019. So there was like 2 years where I was actively interacting a lot with both of you that you didn't cross paths then.
Was he at that Halloween party at the place in Parma?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because you're talking about the last one we had there with Sean B, his ghost face.
Yes,
he was not there.
Okay, yeah.
And Ethan was Macho Man.
So yeah, I would not have had an interaction with him.
That's fucking wild. But I'll tell you that. So I don't remember meeting you. I remember when I met Evan.
Yeah.
I was in 6th grade. He was in 5th grade. I got sent up to the bus because I was being threatened to get kicked off the bus because I had made them stop the route probably over 20 times, being yelled at because I was a very terrible child.
Yeah.
And I got put in seat 1. And one day I get on the bus and I sit in seat 1. I put my bag down, and Evan is in seat 2 by his own volition, sitting in seat 2. And he is talking about Fallout 3. And he's talking about mods for Fallout 3. And I just remember turning behind me and going, oh, you're talking about Fallout 3, right? And that's our first conversation.
Yeah.
And then we talked about music and Elvis and all this other stuff. And it's 2025 now. That was probably 2014.
Wow.
So I remember that. And I remember Ethan I'd known my whole life. We literally grew up next to each other. We're born a couple months apart. So I remember that. Shayne I met in kindergarten. We would not go to the same kindergarten. I met him in a McDonald's play place.
Nice.
And the only time I'd ever met him, literally dropped off the play place, playing, met this kid named Shayne. That was it. He had a red mohawk. That was it.
Jesus Christ.
I changed schools in first grade.
Red mohawk.
I changed schools in first grade, and Shayne's there.
You're like,
I'm like,
dude.
holy shit, I know you. And then we were like best friends through like 6th grade. and then didn't talk middle school, high school, really.
Right.
Like we're friendly, but didn't really associate.
Yeah.
2019, senior year, we took a journalism class together,
Okay.
and we were the only people we knew, so we sat by each other.
Right.
Senior year, or graduate, go to broadcasting school, start the show, whatever. Get to the point where we're doing the podcast. I think episode 20, maybe around there, 23, something like that. And we were doing guest hosts, co-hosts, and we were running thin on people because I'd only been in the business like a year, if that.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, I don't know who else to go to. This is getting hectic.
Was I one of them?
You were, yeah, you were. You did a Halloween episode a couple months after Epstein hung himself. Yeah. We talked about Epstein's flight logs and pizza.
What are we suing?
That was your very first episode on the Rebel Radio Show. Episode like 17. Yeah. And
is there footage of this?
There is. There's video on Facebook, I believe, still, and there's obviously the podcast is still up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, I don't remember that at all.
And then we brought in Shayne in December. He came on he wanted to be a writer.
Okay.
We brought him as a writer.
I remember that.
And he wrote a few articles for us. And then Corey Roddick.
Yeah.
We had him on before. He was going to come out. He did Paul is Dead with us. And then he got laid off at iHeart, I believe, when they did mass cuts for COVID.
Yep.
We were going to do another show with him. He called me the morning of the show and goes, hey, man, I'm so sorry. I have this non-compete. I don't think it'd be an issue, but I don't want to chance it.
Right.
I'm like, hey, no worries. So we had to scramble.
Meanwhile, I'm like, hey, let's hang out and do radio.
Right. So we had to scramble, and I'm like, Shayne, this is the deal. If you're free today, if you want to come try and do something on the podcast, come on. It's no big deal. Because obviously we weren't radio or anything, no sponsors yet.
Yeah.
And he came by. We did the show. It flowed really well. And then we had him back on for a Christmas special with Jimmy and Sean.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like, all right, do you want to do this? And then from there on, we've been doing this for 5 years.
Wow.
So I remember that.
Yeah, I don't think Shayne and I had a conversation. I think the first night of Off Air is the first time we met.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it is when you think about it.
Because there is so much overlap of
well, and just the fact that we were able to just kind of bullshit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And we just sat down and we just let it go.
But I'll say this. So I guess the reason I brought this up initially with making friends or being reintroduced to friends is we had Eric on the show. We had him on Off Air before, but we had him on the show today to fill in for Shayne.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something where I texted him at 1 a.m. And I'm like, hey, man, I know you've come on the air before. Something came up. I know it's last minute, so there's no worries. If not, if you want to come on the show today, we'd love to have you.
Right.
And he got back to me. I was like, yeah, no problem. I'm off today. I'll be down. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, damn, I didn't talk to Eric really much in high school.
Eric.
I didn't talk to him much in high school. We were friendly, but we weren't hanging out. And then just because I got reconnected with Shayne, he wanted to have him on Off Air, and that was the first time I'd seen him in years.
Right.
And then from there, now that Shayne has his own place and everything, I've seen him a few times since then, and we shoot the shit.
So my issue right now with making new friends or reconnecting is because of my job.
That makes sense.
I don't know if they really want to be friends.
That makes sense.
Because I had somebody call me today that I haven't talked to in a year and a half. Literally 40-minute conversation just catching up. And I'm like, all right, well, I got a new Bible today from Barnes & Noble. I got a study, a study guide Bible. And I'm like, all right, well, hey, I gotta hop off here. I just pulled up the Barnes & Noble. It was great catching up with you. And then I get the sales pitch. And I'm like, wow, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got this company, and I think it really aligns with what you're doing. And I really, and I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, all right, well, yeah, we'll be in touch. Literally deleted their number as soon
as,
I don't play that.
I had, and I still think it's a pyramid scheme. I don't know what the game here is.
Yeah. But
I had someone who wasn't friends with in high school or anything like that. But again, you got to remember my class was 50 people. So everyone knew each other.
Right.
We all interacted.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had someone a couple months ago reach out to me. No one has talked to this person that I know of since high school.
Okay.
I think he actually left before we graduated.
Gotcha.
Randomly slides up in my DMs and goes, hey, I'm with this business. Or, hey, man, long time no talk. Would love to catch up. I'm with this business. We sell door-to-door, pest control maybe, or something like that, and gave me a whole sales pitch. And didn't reply, just deleted the message. I'm like, what a fucking weird thing.
Yeah.
After not talking to someone for 10 plus years,
right,
to be like, hey, join my company. I'm going to get a referral bonus.
I had I had somebody hit me up with one of those. It wasn't 10 years after high school, but it was like 5.
Well, I haven't been out of high school 10 years, I guess, but
Right, but yeah, it was like 5 or 6. And it was kind of the same thing where I'm like, well, yeah, dude, I knew you, like, we played football together, but like,
yeah.
what do you like? That's weird. Well, I'm just saying, I think it's a really good opportunity for you, and if you start now, you could. And I'm like, buddy, like, no.
Well, so let me say this.
It's strange.
It is. No, it's a strange interaction with anyone.
Yeah.
Especially when, so we called Cuyahoga Heights the bubble.
Yeah.
Because everyone stays there, everyone marries there and reproduces there, and they all stay there forever.
Right.
And everyone knows everyone. So like,
everybody calls friend.
you do not need an invitation.
Hey now.
But so like, it's weird because I've been out of that for so long, and the only people I know from that are Shayne and Evan. And
so
that's it. And I have not talked to anybody else since high school. Really.
Right.
And obviously, Shayne's been such a blessing. I say it all the time. Like, we would not be where we are without Shayne. I couldn't have done the Rebel Radio Show for this long. I don't think I could continue doing it without him here.
Right.
And even the station in general, like, this doesn't happen without how much he's contributed.
Right.
And it's just such a natural chemistry between us. But I will say this too. So like, on top of Shayne just like coming back into my life and changing it so radically, right?
Yeah. Way to go, Shayne. Dick.
Terribly. Gave me the flu, lasted 5 years. No.
Wow.
Just kept giving it to me. But on top of, like, I hope everybody at home, and I'm sure they do if they're listening to Off Air, I hope everyone at home appreciates how much he brings to the station. Because
100%.
I know he talks a lot about, and I've heard him in conversation about me editing and things like that. And I'm like, that's just, it's back end work.
Right.
Like, even this year alone, like, the fact that he's the reason we have a morning sports show. He made that connection.
Yeah.
He reached out to someone that he had known from high school that he knew pursued a career in journalism that was looking to do something again in it. And made that connection of like, hey, maybe we should reach out if they're interested. Can I give them your number?
Right.
Absolutely, man. And like the amount of lengths that he goes to promote the station and dedicates his time to it, man. Like, I say it all the time. Like, I genuinely couldn't ask for anyone that I'd rather do this,
right,
every week with.
Yeah. No, Shayne's awesome. And I'm like, I feel bad because of the other job. Like, when was the last time I was here for Off Air?
It's a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Because I've just, like, I found out I need to be in Phoenix on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because it just, like, it changes. Like, I'm flying tomorrow at 1. So, like, when I get home, I'm going to pack.
Right.
Like,
right.
But, and I feel bad, but, like, I love that dude because of how hard he works.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he'll be the first one. Like, he'll sit there and be like, yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about this. And, and I just want to shut the fuck up. Like, you're doing good, dude. Like, and you can tell because people enjoy listening to the product.
Oh, yeah.
And if people didn't enjoy listening to the product, you would know because nobody would listen.
Right.
Like, they do. They enjoy you. So shut up and enjoy it because you do a good job.
I sat there. We had Idleman
I didn't mean
Black.
that to come off as mean as it did, but no, he does a great job.
Kevin Black came on.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's wrestling now, Idleman Black. So we sat there with him, and we had both talked about, me and Shayne were talking about the fact that, we should try and get more guests on this year now that we have the studio set up.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, absolutely. So we had Idleman on. And we sat there and talked to him, and I'm like, Shayne had never done an interview before, never, done guest stuff.
Yeah.
And, I didn't, because I know Kevin. We know Kevin.
Right.
And I'm like, so
I haven't seen that dude in years.
It was good to see him again.
He's a good guy.
So I'm like, yeah, I want to catch up. I have like rough questions I want to ask.
Did you ask him about Johnny Gargano?
I did ask him. He gave us a story. You can go listen to it.
That's cool. Where can I hear that?
WSRradio.com.
Oh, okay.
You get our full lexicon of show schedules and more, including exclusives. But I'm like, all right, we'll set up. I got a couple rough questions. And right as soon as we fucking started the show, I did the intro, and Shayne was just like rapid for like, he knew exactly what I wanted to ask.
That's cool.
Had so much like detailed prep he'd done. He went through the Instagram and like looked at matches, and like I told him after, I'm like, dude, you fucking knocked that out of the park.
That's the hardest thing, because like, so when I host events,
mm-hmm.
or like when I would do behind the scenes stuff on the campaign, because we would do like for fundraisers, we did like comedy nights, and I would be the one interviewing them as they came off the stage.
Yeah.
That is some of the hardest stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like it's in like like I interviewed, the first interview I did in that whole set of interviews was Dr. Drew, which is crazy because I didn't even know he was going to be there. I saw him walk past me and I'm like, oh, and I'm still prepping. You know, I'm still getting in like the headspace. And they're like, all right, Dr. Drew's coming. Come on, Jake. And I'm like, we're here, and then they're like, all right, camera 3, 2, 1. I'm like, we're standing by with Dr. Drew. Like, you know, like, so the fact that Shayne can turn it on.
Oh, yeah.
Like that is huge. No, he's phenomenal.
I mean, you know this as well as I do. To have that chemistry with someone, especially right off bat, like, you can build it roughly through shows, but you're gonna have some stinkers.
Well, and even with friends, off air you have that chemistry.
Yeah,
but on air, I mean, there's a few that I could think of that it's happened with me where they just want to sit and stare at their cell phone the whole time, where that chemistry just isn't there.
Right.
It can be. You have to work at it.
Yeah, you can build it.
You have to rediscover it a little bit. But yeah, chemistry on air is hard to find because and it's so weird too, because there are some people who fucking hate each other off air.
Oh, yeah.
But they work great together on air.
Like you and me, we fucking hate each other.
Right. We never fucking hang out.
That's why the two of us have never.
The 2K stories are all lies. I actually fucking hate him.
Shayne is usually here as a moderator.
Right. Jordan and I met
times.
because he put a hit out on me, and I found out, and I went to his house, and I tried to burn it down.
Yeah. Too bad you fucking suck at lighting matches.
Style. I had to say the on air.
Yeah, dumbass. Fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Fucking liberal.
See, he made it political this time, not me.
I did.
Not me.
No, but like, you can ask Jules this because we both sat there that first time we had Shayne on. And again, he just, was on to write, essentially, because he wanted to do something in journalism. And literally after that first show, I'm like, how do you feel? We sat in the studio after he left. I'm like, how do you feel about that show? And she's like, that was really good. I'm like, that's so fluid. Like it flowed. He had never done anything,
right.
We weren't on air, but he had never done any kind of like podcast or thing like that before. I'm like, it flowed. It filled time. It was quick. And yeah, I'm like, I knew, I'm like, this is who we have to have as a co-host if we're going to keep doing this. And it only re-cemented that. I've told this before. It only re-cemented that after we had talked about, I'm like, hey, do you want to come do this? Is something you'd be interested in? He took the time that he didn't have to come in on an off day and go, can you show me ins and outs? Can you tell me how to talk?
The cool thing is, how do I say this? Other people that were involved at that time, given the situations that happened, and this is very vague, and I apologize to the listeners.
Long-time listeners will know.
Right, but to like really cement how good Shayne is. The fact that he stepped up the way that he did was fucking huge at that moment. Yeah. It really
absolutely
was. And
we were on the verge of being a show that didn't get past 20.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit.
We were about to not get past 20 at all.
To the point, like, I was nervous for a little bit where I'm going, how the fuck am I going to make it work if I got to go in there and do it?
Yeah.
Like, if they need me to, I can. But there's no way I could go to the station and go, hey, guys, I need Monday off.
Right.
Or, hey, I know I'm full-time. Can I work part-time on Mondays, guys?
Right.
Like, and then, the fact that he stepped up, and he's rocked it.
Yeah,
Shayne's going to like this episode.
He's going to hate this episode because now we're going to talk about the bad things about him. No, but for real.
Stupid hat.
Oh, what a piece of shit.
Hey, nice shirt. Not.
Got him.
Loser.
I know the exact shirt you're talking about.
Yeah, that one.
Now he's going to get paranoid.
Yep. Yeah, the one? The one we always make fun of him about behind his back.
Yeah. Yep. As soon as off-air wraps.
And
wears it every time.
Remember the pants he wore the one time? What a loser.
But no, and the fact that like he has so much creative input all the time. Like the dude's always brimming with ideas.
Well, and like with off air, we don't know what we're talking about.
It's literally nothing. We came in today without Shayne and went, what do we talk about?
Yeah, because he'll be like, so today I watched I saw a YouTube video and I want to get your guys' opinion on it. And then usually like somebody makes a fart noise or something or says something stupid out of context and then we go completely AWOL. But
yeah. I don't know, man. It's
full stop. I said it twice tonight.
Yeah, man. And like rolling with the punches too. Like at no point did he have to do any of this.
Right.
But like he didn't have to stick with it when we went to radio. He didn't sign up for radio.
Yep.
He didn't have to stick with it when we left the station we were on. When we started this one.
Did that start back up again?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I saw something that said it did.
I feel like they've done some broadcasts, but I don't know if it's
I
like
hope
running.
they did for their sake.
Me too.
I hope they're doing good.
I do too. I genuinely, hope the best for them
Yeah.
and wish the best for them. It just wasn't working with us there.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Wixie. I'm talking about the other one.
Yeah, no, I wasn't talking about Wixie either. However, I did get an apology from them.
Did
Yeah, I don't know if I told you this. I got an email a couple months ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was very unexpected. So that
Ratings
was
are hard
nice.
to find.
They sure are.
But being humble is a lot easier.
But no, Shayne, dude's a fucking blessing. Not only just on air, but in my life. Like,
Yeah.
It's crazy how much has changed. And
Plus the cowboy getup at Halloween.
Was really, big
the
Iron
background of
Shane.
our group chat.
It is. The off-air Snapchat. Jake set the picture of Shayne in a cowboy outfit.
So good.
Yeah, man.
No, he's good people.
He is. He really is. And there's very few people that are as good as Shayne.
Although his wrestling tastes aren't great.
I think you should listen to the Idol in Black episode.
Yeah?
Because half of it is him ripping into Shayne for his wrestling takes.
I'll have to listen
To where
it.
we sat there afterward and Shayne went, I guess I just suck at wrestling. Sorry, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, he has some bad takes.
We also rubbed off on Shayne, though. He's watching wrestling now.
The preceding program was a WSRR radio production.